All right, we're live. We're live.
Welcome everyone to another Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant. I am Greta Russo, and of course, this is Dr. Bryant. Dr. Bryant, please say hello and introduce yourself.
Hello, look, hello, and introduce yourself. But no, I'm sorry, you didn't get the joke out of that one. I repeated what you said. That's all. Hello, everyone. I'm being silly today. I apologize. I'm Dr. Nelva Bryant. I'm a veterinarian, and I work in the airline industry. I work with Delta Airlines, and I've been on staff with them these past few years to help review and revise the policies for animal transportation. And that's number one goal that I have, just to ensure animals get to their destinations safely. During that role, I started identifying there's a need, there's a niche, really. There's an area of where it's lacking as far as education for pet owners to prepare their pets for air travel. So I developed When Pets Fly as a platform to share that information. So been doing this now for a good 5 years. And let's see, Greta joined me about 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. So Greta's been with me for 4 years, and we have grown. We've got a Facebook Lives that we do quite frequently. We're like booked out this month, so we got a lot of great stuff for you. But we've been doing the Facebook Lives for the past 4 years. And I've got a website, whenpets.com. Take a look at that. We've got a lot of valuable information there to share with you on, again, pet-centric travel education to help you prepare your pets for air travel. We have a newsletter. Actually, our newest newsletter just went out on October 1st. You can go to my website and sign up for it, and we'll make sure you get the current copy of it. And then moving on, you'll routinely get it when it comes out. And we get those out on a quarterly basis, basically. And what else do I do? I have a social media presence on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I also have a YouTube page. And so we're just growing. So that's what I've been doing these past few years, again, to share pet-centric travel education. Regarding our Facebook Lives, now, goodness, this has really grown. I mean, for these past 4 years, we've had repeat guests. We've had guests, we have today we have a pet parent that's going to give her perspectives on traveling with her pet Puccini, which is awesome. She's been with us before, but we'd like to just hear her updates and just from a pet parent perspective, preparing the pets for air travel. Yeah. So she's going to share that with us. Oh, that's sorry, Zachary. Sorry. And what else? We also have people that we have Retrieve Air on it. Past few weeks we have Retrieve Air. We've had Avalar Pets or Jets Pets. Sorry, I'm probably messing it up. But either way, there's different methods to transport your pets by air, and it could be sometimes through a private jet. We've had pet shipping companies. We've done a lot. So that's what we've been doing these past 4 years. So I know I said a lot. Greta, please, you're my right hand in everything I do. Please share, introduce yourself and share a little bit about, anything that's on your mind as far as current events in pet travel. That's what we're going to call this section too. Current events in pet travel.
Absolutely. Well, hello, everyone. I am Greta Russo, and yes, we have been together for the past 4 years. Doing Facebook Lives and expanding across the world. Can you believe that you guys have helped us spread worldwide now? We are in over 20 countries being seen and sharing information. So now, since we're not just in the United States, because the two of us are based in Georgia, we have to make sure that when we share information that we are being sensitive to where a person is watching us from. Which is a great thing. And we love that you guys are tuning in more and more and paying close attention to what we're talking about. We are on the cusp of another pet travel season. Everyone, it's going to be the big one, which is the holiday travels. And I think depending on your religion, holiday probably starts as early as October, definitely in November, with Thanksgiving, and then December has Christmas and New Year's. But this is the time to actually, if you haven't already planned for these trips, you're a little bit behind depending on where you're going to. But Dr. Bryant, she does travel consultations. So please go to the website if you need to ask questions, especially if it's pertaining to the forms that you got to complete. If you want to have Dr. Bryant speak with your veterinarian as to what they need to pay attention to on the forms. Definitely Dr. Bryant is available, and she has 2 different types of consultations. So if you go to the contact page on the website, you can pick a date and time and book a consultation with Dr. Bryant. I just wanted to take a second to remind you about some news that has come out not too long ago, because this is, if you are planning for you and your pet to travel to Europe, there are 29 countries that are going to be a part of this new legislation that is rolling out, where they are no longer giving out passport stamps, but instead they are going to have do all of this with through technology. So when you go to the customs lines, you are going to have to give your fingerprints. It's going to take a picture of your face. All of this will be stored in the database, and it will also photograph your passport, so your information will be in the system too. So this is supposed to speed up the process of going through customs into the different countries, including the United States. So, you know, just prepare for this. The other thing as well is when you start to travel, make sure you check out the airports and the airlines to see if this has any effect on your animals, if anything, like if you have to go in a special line or if you got to register anything for them, just to find out. They haven't said anything yet in the news, but it's a good question for you to ask, since it's more than just you traveling if you're traveling with your pet. Alaska, there's been a lot of news about different countries and different airlines stepping up their game in the pet travel industry, and Alaska Airlines is now letting customers fly with 2 pets in the cabin. So, you know, that's definitely more than any other airline. You know, I would imagine the 2 pets have to be in one carrier, and they probably have to be small. You know, definitely check out Alaska Airlines website to see what their new policies are around that. But that they're the only ones that are offering this change. And with the, again, planning for travel holiday, this is definitely big news. Dr. Bryant, do you have anything you like? What do you think about taking 2 pets in the cabin?
That's interesting. So I believe in how it's been is that if you're traveling with a pet in cabin, it's 1 per pet per customer or passenger. Yeah. So it's interesting that it's going to be for 2. Just be aware, though. I still believe if they're allowing that, that's great. But I still think there's going to be a restriction of the numbers that they'll allow in during the whole flight. For that whole flight, they're going to still restrict the numbers, because imagine if everyone decides I'm going to bring my 2 pets. So there's got to be a restriction on that. So I would just advise, yes, research it. Go to Alaskan Air and find out exactly what they mean. Find out if there's a restriction on the number of pets that can be traveling in cabin per flight. So check that. Never ever assume that because they said that, then I could just show up with 2 pets and it's okay. So make sure you make the proper reservations and everything with that.
And I'm sure it's not 2 large dogs. So, you know,
there'll be some restrictions on that. Look, I'm sure Puccini could definitely, and if Puccini had a brother or sister, a small one, it would work. But a big dog, big dogs, I doubt they're going to allow that. Because again, there's still going to be some restrictions. They're still going to require them to be in your soft-sided carrier, very, very likely. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, what came out this week was Pet Friendly Airlines ranking. I've never seen this before, but I thought it was really pretty interesting. And of course, Alaska Airlines leapt to the top now that they're allowing the 2 pets. And right below that is the private carrier, JSX. So for anybody who doesn't know or has large dogs and always wanted to take their large dogs traveling, JSX is one of the older private jet airlines that allow or take pets around. They're very good, have excellent customer service, and I definitely recommend them. Hawaiian Airlines is, another commercial airline inside the United States, and they are very well known for their pet policies as well. In the middle standings, Frontier Airline followed by Spirit Airline. Delta is in there, followed by JetBlue and Southwest. Well, I'm wondering with the video that went out this week, if Southwest is going to drop to the bottom, but rounding out the bottom in the top 10 is United Airlines and American Airlines. So, and go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I just think it's a little bit interesting. I think I've said it before with you, and I've probably said it a few times on these sessions here. I'm just curious on what they've determined, the airline, what makes it pet friendly. That's my only concern and consideration on that. But
well, I'm glad you asked because they showed it.
Okay.
So they listed this in alphabetical order and not the actual rankings, but in this it shows what was the favorable things for each of those airlines, and in more particular, they also highlight the cost for each airline, and I think that has a lot to do with it as well. Alaska actually has the cheapest fee in cabin. And as well as in cargo. So if this thing breaks down, this chart, I should say, breaks down the different benefits for each airline. It does point out, for Frontier and JetBlue, Southwest, and Spirit, each of those do not offer cargo service. Let's see, for Delta, it does point out only active duty military at this time. Putting in, what is available and what's not, as well as the cost. But definitely what I can do is make sure that I post this on our social media so everyone can check it out, as well as, seeing it here in our live.
And I can't see it very well from where I'm sitting, but the question for Delta, does it say active duty or traveling on permanent change of station orders? Because it's not just, in a sense, we're flying the military only. It's a specific criteria. Is that on there?
Yeah.
I can't see it from here.
It says only active duty military and State Department orders.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. What they need to add is on permanent change of station orders, because that's a specific criteria that falls under it. But
okay,
yeah.
Well, when I make the post, I'll make sure to get the wording correct.
Because if not, it'll make it appear that Delta's just trying. I mean, it's not bad, but it's making it seem that Delta's only flying military folks, and we are, but it's a specific criteria that we're allowing. We're flying until further notice. Right now, we're embargoed all pet shipments until there's a lot of internal things we have to address, and for the time being, we're restricting the number of pets going through our network.
Okay, fantastic. And I'll make sure that I get the wording correct when I go to post this with you. And everyone, just so that you know, just in case you didn't know, Dr. Nelva Bryant is the only veterinarian in the airline industry, and she works for Delta. So that's how she knew this information. We want to make sure that all of the information that we share is accurate. Not only for Delta, but all of our airline industry friends. I
have to mention, and again, I mentioned to you, Greta, offline, I was very excited that someone mentioned to me that they went to the website, which is www.winpets.com. The person said they went to the website and they said, your information is correct. They're like, yes.
Well, yes, it is.
why it is. Yes, yes. I really put a lot of effort. Greta and I work together, but we put a lot of effort into making sure that accurate information is shared regarding pet travel, and it is more than what you'll find in your average probably website in reference to preparing pets for air travel. We go into depth trying to really focus on that pet and ensuring they're prepared for travel. So we go beyond just get a certificate, health certificate, get your crate. We go into great detail as far as even with the crates, tell you the type of crates and why it has to be compliant with IATA and all these different things. So we put a lot of effort into the information we share on the website. So please go there. And my goal is it really should be your resource. If you're traveling with your pet domestically or internationally, that should be your resource to get you prepared.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to bring our guest in today and friend to the show, Leslie, with her baby Puccini. So let's see, let's add her in here so we can get the conversation rolling.
Hey,
Hi,
we're having
Leslie.
lunch today with the big boy. So nice to see you.
Nice seeing you
So
too.
nice to see you as well, dear. Well,
And
as
Dr.
you know,
Bryant,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're having a silly Friday because that's my usual state of affairs here.
Okay. I think I'm a little bit. I traveled last week and then jumped back into work, and I think I'm kind of like, whoo, I'm on fumes, just having a good old time on Friday, basically. So, yeah. It's been a busy week. Yeah, busy week.
You can match us then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am going to read both Puccini's and Leslie's bios, and then we will get this show started. So, everyone, first, Puccini is a true New York City doggy. He has modeled for the Fashion Institute of Technology, Ladies' Home Journal, the New Yorkie Runway Show, Paws in the City fundraiser, Lord and Taylor, Canine Styles, the New York Pet Fashion Show, and won the Hudson River Pet Parade's Best Trick Award out of 87 dogs. Puccini has been a brand ambassador for Frenchie's Kitchen dog food, 21 Bays bow ties, and pet wear, and was crowned New York's Barking Beauty. He has appeared in numerous calendars and couture fashion books, as well as walked the runways for New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week. Puccini has won the Most Photogenic Dog Award by the Society Paws of New York and performed as Toto in The Wiz. He has been on Hulu's Poker Face recently and did a commercial for Just Food for Dogs. Puccini has Puccini has entertained the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation and the Rockettes alumni at Radio City Music Hall. He was also chosen to be the mascot for Paddle for the Cure. Puccini has worked with the Heartstone Alzheimer's care patients and brings smiles to people's faces wherever he goes. You can find him jet-setting to Alaska, Italy, Bermuda, Mexico, Canada, Barbados, Texas, Florida, Las Vegas, and the East and West Coast. When he isn't jet-setting, you can find him lounging in Hell's Kitchen on the 37th floor in New York City. As for Miss Leslie Riddle, or is it Riddle? Or
Riddle, like a joke.
Okay.
That's why I like seeing Dr. Bryant silly today. That's my last name,
All right, perfect.
As for Miss Leslie Riddle, Leslie has danced with the Radio City Music Hall Rockettes, served on the board of directors for the Rockettes alumni, and toured the US and Europe with Broadway shows. She appeared in numerous television shows, commercials, films, traveled the US judging dance competitions, emceeing, choreographing, coaching, and coordinating pageants, and ran the New York City Miss Hawaiian Tropic pageant for 10 years. In the fashion world, Leslie has worked as global sales director for the shoe designers and as a fit technician for Italian shoe factories. Currently, Leslie is assisting in planning the 100th anniversary celebrations for the Rockettes this year. She volunteers for God's Love We Deliver and several breast cancer organizations. She helps raise money and homeless animals and manages the career of her little guy Puccini. Everyone, please help me welcome Leslie and Puccini.
Yay.
We're so happy to have you guys.
I love the clapping. That's so
Yes.
cute.
Oh my
Puccini has a very, very impressive resume. That is
He
amazing.
does. That's our shortened version.
Yeah. Wow.
Greta, you needed a big
Wow,
can of
that's
water
amazing.
after all that.
Mhm.
That is truly amazing. And I absolutely love, 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 Leslie, how you and Puccini stay busy and really make a career of doing all the good that you both are doing around the world. I'm so
Thank
proud
you.
of you both.
Thanks so
You're
much.
welcome.
You know, I had a guy ask me the other day, where do you find time to do all this stuff? And I said, well, when I'm 6 feet under, that's when I'm going to rest. So there you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know, so how old is Puccini?
17 and a half.
Really?
What?
I like those big eyes I just saw on both of you. I know. Do you know my vet asks me all the time for all my secrets? She wants the recipe that I feed this little guy, which that's a whole nother program. I have so many people asking me to show them how to cook for dogs. And what else? Oh, all my supplements and different things that I give to him. He's as active as he was when he was, I don't know, 5 years old. You can see. He's like
That's
very
what I thought he
attentive.
was.
Yeah. He'll be 18 in February, the month of love.
The month of
Oh, that's amazing. And I'm so happy for you. That really is a testament, not just to Puccini, but to you, Leslie, as a fantastic pet parent, doing all the research, getting all the things you need to make sure you extend this fantastic life for Puccini. So
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And he
You're
eats
welcome.
off of a spoon. Go figure.
I mean, if
It's
you're
fine when we're traveling on the airlines.
Yeah, I would say if you're modeling, I mean, come on.
Yeah, we can't have it all over his beard, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a beard thing.
Mhm.
and when we're on the airlines, everyone just cracks up. Everyone is like, "Oh my God, that's so civilized."
Of course.
So where have you guys have you traveled recently with Puccini, Leslie?
Well, I'm doing a lot of work here for the 100th anniversary for the Rockettes. So I've kind of been around more than I want to be around New York City lately. But let's see. I know I sent Greta a bunch of our Italian photos. We had such a good time. I spoke to you, and then I was going to Italy a few months after our last interview. And oh, it was amazing. It was so pretty. We were all up and down the east coast of Italy, which I've never been to. You know, most tourists, we've all been to the west coast, the Amalfi, Rome, down through Sicily and all of those beautiful regions. But I have a good friend here in New York, and she gives tours of New York City to Italians. So she wanted me to go home with her, and she was giving a couple of us the experience of the East Coast of Italy. It was so pretty. It's called the La Marche region.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, we had a couple food critics with us from Travel and Leisure magazine. One of the guys that's like a historian about New York. You'll see him all the time in the back of the taxi. We have these little TV screens in the back of the taxis. You'll see him on there occasionally. And then he also does his own shows on Pix 11. And who else was with us? We had some really interesting couple. There was only 5 of us, so it was a nice small group.
Well, that's fantastic. It sounds like it was the trip of a lifetime.
It was. Nothing like going with a local girl.
Oh, absolutely. You get to
Yes.
see all the nitty-gritty stuff.
Absolutely. And then let's see, after that, we went to Mexico and we were in Cancun at the Hilton Bar Mar Caribe. Yes. That's a mouthful. And it was funny because it was right at the beginning of this year. So I had booked us a little trip just to get, I do not do winter. It's not my season. So I think I had 10 days. I had booked a 10-day trip. And we ended up being there 16 days because of that ice storm that went up from Houston, Texas, all the way up to Canada, if you remember that this winter. Yes. So if I had to be stuck somewhere, that was a good place to be stuck.
Yeah. Absolutely. You missed that whole storm.
I did not miss it at all. No. And, he gets treated like the king. All the restaurants had prepared him little steaks, and because I had run out of food for him.
Oh, yeah. So. Hey, well, since your experience then as traveling with a pet in cabin, going to Italy, then going to Mexico, any thoughts on that you could share to help people just see if there's any difference? Did you notice any differences in going to the different countries and just anything you identified that was a little bit different, or is it the same?
You mean as far as paperwork or just inside the cabin or all of the above?
Whatever you want to share, paperwork, the travel. I mean, because again, you went to one thing that folks will have to realize, you went to multiple countries, but you can't just use one international health certificate for that. So
this is correct. Actually, one of the blessings of traveling to Italy or to Mexico is they only require our rabies papers. I don't have to do one of those extensive USDA forms.
You did? So you did
not.
No,
that's a blessing for me, especially. Usually it comes out to be about $400. I don't want to, give anyone a shock, but usually when you do your paperwork, it runs around the $300 to $400 region for that USDA paperwork. And all the British islands, British countries, anything of the British rule, you have to do the USDA paperwork. And it always gives me agita. How's that for a good word? Because you have to do a 10-day before. You have to make sure the rabies are just timed just right. If you're not up to date yet, you have to have 2 days before. You have to do something else. It's a lot of concentration between you and your veterinarian. And not all vets can do this, which people need to know that as well. You have your USDA certified vets, which Dr. Bryant is. Yes. So she's the one you got to talk to.
You know what? For Mexico, they just changed something. So if you go to Mexico with Puccini anytime now, moving forward, just be aware there's a requirement coming back to the U.S. that they have to be cleared for screwworm, New World screwworms. Yeah, that.
Somebody had mentioned that to me. Actually, one of my other traveling friends. Yeah, and she had said that to me. Yeah. I didn't have to deal with it last time.
Not then, but now
they just shooed me on through. I think they were kind of busy that day. And actually coming back, the TSA guy was rather funny. Greta, you'll like this because it has to do with my last name. so this big, huge, burly guy is standing there, when you go through when you're just about to go through customs. He's with TSA. He's got his machine gun. He's got, all the official paraphernalia on. And I get up there with my little fluffy white poodle-ish looking dog here. And he's like, "Let me see your paperwork." And I pull out his passport and he goes, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh, that's his pet passport." He goes, "I don't know nothing about that. Give me your rabies paperwork." I was very, very, so I give him that. And he goes, "Is that your name, Riddle?" I said, "Yes, that's my last name. That's his last name too." I was trying to get him to laugh,
Right.
because I'm a goofy person to begin with. And then he was more interested in knowing if I was related to the wrestler. There's a guy named something Riddle. That's what he wanted to really know about. He didn't really care about his paperwork. So who knows these days who we're related to, unless you're doing ancestry every month. So he just said, "Go on, you're all right." You never know who you're going to get at the airport. So,
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to make it just a valid point too, because Puccini has a European pet passport, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
That's
I got
why
it in Paris.
Yeah, that's why you don't have to go through all the documentation as others. So just to kind of differentiate that, if it was a routine dog coming from the U.S. going, say going to Italy as you did, they would have to have an international health certificate, because you don't get those European pet passports here in the U.S. You had to get it done in that country. That's why. And
that makes sense.
And also, yeah, that's why you don't have to. And then also, it's interesting, going to Mexico doesn't require U.S. dogs to have an international health certificate. But now they must prove that they're healthy. And you probably need to, like you said, carry something as far as the rabies vaccination and stuff like that on you. But they don't require an international health certificate to go there, which is interesting.
Usually the girls that work at the counters at the airline, they laugh at me all the time, because I pretty much take a book with me, and I tell everybody flying, I'm like, take your folder, make your copies of your papers. Don't assume they're going to want to see it on your phone. Make those copies, bring every form you have from your vet. I've been asked for all sorts of things, so I don't assume anything anymore. And these days, the way things are changing, you never know what they want.
Well, it's good that you have to be prepared, honestly.
That's right.
And the coolest thing is, though, a lot of folks, you're prepared, you have the documentation, and to be honest, being old school, I like the feeling of documents, but they do have where there's apps where you can download stuff and people can have all the information in the app. But I'm like I said, I have the paper, I have it right here, because God forbid, even if you had an app, what if by chance the app's not working, you don't have internet connectivity and all this other stuff?
I've had that happen. Yes. I've gotten up to the counter and the phone's not working, the internet's not coming through, and I'm having
your battery died.
Yes.
Right when you're going into another country, right when you need it, my battery just died.
That's right.
What are you gonna do?
Oh,
yeah,
that is right.
Yeah.
So, Leslie, can you explain how you got the passport?
Oh, yes. That was actually a really fun trip. So I was choreographing a fashion show for the Paris Fashion Week. And Puccini had been asked to model with some of those beautiful supermodels.
Wow.
And I knew that Paris was one of the locations where I could get that pet passport. So before I went, it was probably about a month, a friend of mine had been helping me. We were searching for a vet that spoke English. The most important thing, we needed a good Parisian vet that did speak English as well. So we finally found one, and he wasn't too far from where our hotel was. And after the show was over and everything, and before we flew back, we went to his office, and him and his assistant could not have been lovelier. One of the nicest vets I think I've ever met in my life. And it was handed down to him from his father and from his father's father. So they had been in the business for who knows how many years. It was relatively easy. He did an examination of him. He looked at all his past veterinarian paperwork that I brought with me. And of course, he was shocked at his age. And he said, I need to take lessons from you. And, you know, he's like, may he live another 10, 20 years. Who knows? And then he stamped the papers. He wrote in what he did. And I didn't bring it with me over here to our interview, but it's so cute. They take you bring a photo with you, two photos, just like our passport photos. I actually went to UPS and held him up, and the photographer at UPS said, okay, this is the first. And it's funny. And Puccini, he looked at the camera, like he knew he knows what he's doing. It's not his first camera. So the cutest pictures ever. The vet loved them, and they stick them on, and it looks just like our passport, basically.
That's
and
amazing.
Then when we went back to Italy, they also had written in some things, and then my vet writes in. So you kind of keep a documentation in the passport as well.
Okay. Yeah. And I know from Dr. Bryant just saying you can only get this over in Europe. You got yours in Paris. Do you know the other countries as well?
It's a little bit more extensive in Italy. I think Paris, to be honest with you, is one of the easier countries. So I always tell people, well, maybe take a little detour through France if you're going somewhere, if you need a pet passport.
Okay. Is a pet passport required over in Europe?
No, but it certainly does make it easier if you're going from country to country, or if you're just flying in. They look at them.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to ask you, since you are, experienced United States traveler as well as an international traveler, what are the differences between the United States and the rest of the world?
Well, of course, it's easier flying around the States. You don't.
Yeah.
Everybody speaks the same language, and you don't have a heart attack before you go and do anything when you're flying around the States. You know what you got to do. You just do it and hop on the plane, and usually everything is great for me anyway. We're very quiet, unassuming little people and dog here, so we don't make a scene. We don't ask for,
you know what? I want to bring up, because it's something Greta had brought up, and it was something new that happened with Southwest, and just the expectations of, I'll bring it. There was something on, was it TikTok, Greta?
Instagram.
It was on Instagram, where a person is highlighting the fact that it looks to me, and I don't know the true facts behind it, but I don't think it was someone's personal pet. I think it was like a flight nanny, and she was transporting a puppy, and she got kicked off of Southwest recently because
I saw it also on the news.
The question was, is it wrong, and all this stuff? Now that's going to be saying, oh, it was wrong or whatever. And wrong or right, I'm not even going to say with that, but I just know that there's an expectation of when you have pets traveling in cabin. And the expectation is that they're quiet and everything. So what are your thoughts on that? Because with Puccini traveling, I'm sure Puccini is a pro at it, probably better than your average person traveling, doing everything. But it's, to me, the expectation is being quiet. And even if you think about it, as far as even with service animals, the expectation is for them to be quiet and that you don't even know they're there.
Absolutely.
So I was telling Greta, again, I don't know if to say right or wrong. I think it's something that has to be evaluated more as time goes on, because more pets are going to be traveling.
Yes.
And, I don't know what they're going to do in future or whatever. But again, right now, kind of the expectation is for them to be quiet and really unassuming. You don't even know they're there. And when you don't know they're there, it's like, hey, that was great. You don't want that. So what are your thoughts? And Greta, tell me your thoughts too.
Well, I don't know if mine's so PC here on your show, but parents should be trained as well as their animals. We're actually having an issue with this in my building right now. Management comes to me a lot in my apartment complex. We have 3,500 people that live in my 2 towers here in Manhattan. And we have almost 200 dogs now living in our complex. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of issues with the barking and the biting and are pit bulls allowed or should they not be? We've got a lot of issues here, just like the airlines. And parents, I have a dog next to me, and they have finally come to me and asked for help because their dog has separation anxiety really bad. So the second they close their front door, the barking begins. And we have a floor of 20 apartments, and every single apartment, no matter if it's a city block away, can hear this poodle barking. And so we're working on that. But the parents need to be trained first, and then their dog. But I've been working with him nonstop. I tell people it doesn't matter how old they are, you never stop training.
Right.
I praise him constantly when he's gotten off the flight and he's been quiet and he's been a good boy. He gets a treat, and I tell him why, like he's a human. And when he's pee-peed on the paper, he only will go on the paper, which is a real blessing. Also, I trained him. I had him completely paper trained within 2 weeks, because as soon as he ate, I put him on the paper. I told him pee on the paper, and I can put these little wee pads in the cabin, in our little cubicle bathrooms on the plane. He'll go right in the center of that paper. He doesn't miss. Even as a little boy, he's good. He usually only squats to pee, as my granddad used to say.
No, that's good. I mean, outside of it, it's more than just, say, the pet. It's a relationship, you're saying. You have to train your pet to be a certain way and keep them going and everything, and train them to be quiet in these situations. Really, I always say, again, acclimated to being, for flights, having them acclimated to being confined. And that means not anxious, panting, whatever. They're calm, sitting in the crate quietly. That takes training. That takes time. You can't get the crate the night before and think they'll be perfectly fine in a crate the next day. They're going to try to get out.
That's right.
Yeah. Remember, one of my veterinary colleagues, she transported her cat in cabin, and she thought she had it acclimated and trained. And what did the thing do? He chewed a hole through the side, and I guess they had to keep pushing his head back into the container during transport because he was trying. He wasn't fully acclimated to being confined there. So it takes time for everything, and it's going to take training for them. And as you're saying, praising, rewards, not confinement for punishment. Just praising, being in there quiet. Let's praise them. So
exactly.
Yeah,
that's right. And also, I tell people, you don't need a piece of steak to treat them with. A tiny little bit like the end of your fingernail, they don't know the size. They just know they got something.
Yummy. So, yummy, something yummy.
Exactly. That's right.
I agree with both of you. And, number one, there's too many pet parents that forget or don't realize that this is an actual being that has to be taught and trained to the behaviors that are accepted. And that takes time, like you both said. And, some people think because it's such a instant society, that when you bring the dog or cat home, they're instantly going to know, or everything's downloaded so that they know everything. And that's not the case. Every animal is a blank slate, and you have to put into it what you want them to know. And so, I recently was dealing with one of my cats going to the vet, and all of the veterinarians were amazed with how well my cat was trained and how well he behaved and all these different things. And he didn't come that way. It took repetitive behavior and repetitive motion to get him to, know a certain things and how to be around people. So I agree with you both. As far as the video itself, I do agree, Dr. Bryant. I think that was a flight nanny that was transporting that puppy from one place to another. And she did say it was 8 weeks old. So number one, it was just taken from its mother and everything that it knew. And probably the first time it was on a plane. So it's got all these sounds. It's got, his ears popping and, everything else. He has not been acclimated to that crate. So everything was wrong. And that's why it was crying. And, where I understand the noise was probably driving people crazy. I think she said that all I wanted to do was just put my hands in and calm it down. I think that could have been allowed, because a mother with a screaming baby is allowed to do everything she can to calm the baby down. And I think, the airline could have just been a little bit more sympathetic to this lady trying to do something with this dog, who we have to remember, the lady is a stranger to this dog. So
there was a lot of
everything
in that scenario.
Yep, absolutely. And truth be told, as many times as I have put up with a screaming baby, and I cannot stand screaming babies. I think I think the world could have dealt with a few yelps from a crying puppy.
Yes.
So, I hope that something good comes out of that situation. To your point, Dr. Bryant, I hope that now that, because this last travel season, which was the end of summer with Labor Day, that was the biggest Labor Day pet travel holiday on record. So it's only going to increase, because people are getting out more and more with their pets. So I believe that airlines, just like the hotels had to get on board with letting pets stay inside, the airlines need to figure something out, and so that everyone can travel with these pets in a cohesive manner.
Yeah. And I would imagine actually you saying the numbers.
So you're one person working in one airline, and you're doing the best you can. But I hope the powers that be will listen to you, and now more than ever, and start creating regulations so that they can.
The interesting thing about this is that there's a lot of puppies that are shipped by air, and a lot of the pet nanny. It's really seriously a kind of like an occupation. Pet nannies, they transport pets from the breeder to the future owner. So I don't think this is like, say, the first time. I'm sure they're seeing a lot of these types of passengers doing this, bringing pets in cabin, young pets coming, young dogs or cats traveling that way. So it's just a surprise in this situation. And all I know is, all I can say on it is there's an expectation, But again, probably something as time goes on, I can't say some accommodations will be made or not, but I'm sure well, for any airline to be on social media in reference to this in this light is not good. So it's something to be considered. What are we going to do if it happens? So, things happen for a reason. Hopefully something beneficial will come out of this as far as with the future, and then maybe some allowances in instances like this. So that's my only thought on it.
Absolutely.
There's a couple things. I wish, first off, that people wouldn't think that they have the best dogs or cats in the world.
Yeah.
Because they all need constant work,
right,
as well as ourselves.
Right.
This is a little bit of a problem. I have a friend that, okay, I'm going to use that term loosely, friend, an acquaintance, maybe. She wants to bring her dog always on flights with her, and she thinks this dog is the best dog in the world, but he's not, and he needs a lot of training, and it makes it rough on the people around her, and
she's going to make it rough for just people in the future,
and us. Yes, it makes me look bad when there's people like that trying to fly.
Yeah, it does. This goes back to the time when they allowed so-called emotional support animals going in cabin.
Yes.
Think about it. They weren't emotional support. That was your personal pet. And
exactly.
Then think of the repercussions because of people misuse of that. That's why it's eliminated. Because it was poor examples of what an emotional support animal is.
Right. The peacocks, the guinea pigs, the snakes.
It led to the point where it's removed. So if you get these folks that with pets that are not trained, trained for this, accommodated to being confined in your crate, doing transport, keeping quiet, it's going to impact the future. They can get to the point where we're saying, we don't want any pets in cabin because they're all disruptive. They're all this.
Exactly.
So you got to be mindful of that.
Yeah, I agree. So, Miss Leslie, with your worldwide traveling, I wanted to see if you and Puccini could give us your top 5 travel tips for if you want to travel to the United States or if you want to travel to internationally.
Which would I rather do? Are you asking me, would I rather travel in the States or travel to Europe? Or
no,
what you got?
Travel tips?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we named a lot of them. Get these babies trained.
Yes.
Train yourself.
Yeah.
Get with somebody, a psychiatrist, whatever you got to do. Train you first. Puccini's flown so much that he doesn't want water or food usually. He knows that the bathrooms are limited. Getting up is a limited thing. Even to Europe. Do you know he slept almost every time we've gone to Europe, he just goes down. He's like, I know what I got to do. Sleeps. When we get up, first thing we go pee-pee, and he's a great boy. I couldn't ask for a better dog, but I've worked on him, and for 17 years, I'm still working on him.
I bet you told him prior to the flight, this is going to be a long one, and he's like, okay.
I did. I talked to him like he's a human.
Right.
People probably think I'm crazy, but do you really care?
No. They understand. I don't know how people don't think they don't understand, but
I'm with you.
Animals understand.
Yes, they do. Cats and dogs, they're smarter than we give them credit for.
Absolutely.
Also, talk to your vet. Get your paperwork in order. Don't wait to the last minute. These are really important things. A lot of people I know wait to the last minute, and then they're frantic, and then your pet feeds off of you.
Right.
People always say he has the attitude of me. because normally I'm pretty easygoing and, I don't get too anxious about anything. The world can be on fire around us. And I'm like, well, let's just go that way. The water's that way. So, they do feed off our anxiety. So you have to be careful of that.
They all feel our energy.
That's right.
Yes. If they feel we're nervous, they wonder, why are you nervous? Should I be nervous?
Yes. That's
it's a whole cycle.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, is there any last minute things that you wanted to share about being jet setters?
Well, we're going to Barbados.
Okay.
I am so excited about this. And then the other half of me is like, oh, the paperwork.
Yeah, you got paperwork for there.
Barbados is even though they've separated from England, which I was very happy for them about that. I wish they would get their papers like Mexico and Italy and
make
it a little easier for us. But, I know I'm in for a month or so of paperwork with that. I was so fortunate. Pardon?
When is your trip?
January.
So you're preparing now 3 months out from that.
Oh, yeah.
So
for sure.
Is that about average?
I think so. If you have that luxury.
Okay.
So I don't know if you were able to see the video that I sent you, but I had sent a card into Kelly and Mark, Live with Kelly and Mark, the morning TV show.
Okay.
And I had been on that show actually years ago when Regis was on it. I was teaching him how to dance, which was kind of funny. But anyway, they have this stump mark little section of the show.
I've seen it.
Oh, good. At the beginning, I sent Greta the video, and it was great. I had to come up with a true statement and a lie. And they had called me one morning at the crack of dawn and said, hey, we chose your card to play today. And I'm like, oh, that's exciting. Okay, let me wake up and get some coffee. It was like 6 a.m. And so I stumped Mark. I won the mug and the T-shirt and a trip to Barbados.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is our trip. We're finally getting to use it. I had to get rid of, well, not rid of, but we have to finish up all the celebrations for the 100th anniversary for the Rockettes in November. And then December is always fun with the holidays. And then I said, we're out of here for January. So
it's great.
That's going to be our trip.
You stumped them. Yeah, I do watch that when I'm at work. I'm always seem like I go to the cafeteria right around that time when it's on, and I watch it then.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Nice.
That's great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, that was a fun day, and I'm looking forward to this trip. Right, big guy?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Such a good boy.
He's so stinking cute.
Thank you. See, sometimes I act like it, too. I get testy.
Well, I wanted to tell everyone to follow Leslie and Puccini on their adventures. You can do that on Instagram as well as Facebook. And with Facebook, you can follow Leslie and Puccini. You definitely want to keep up with all their countries they visit and all the island hopping that they do. And I guess with the next trip in January, we'll all keep an eye on you in Barbados.
Nice. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and don't ever hesitate to ask a question. I'll answer your questions.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's great.
Well,
Dr. Bryant's our expert, but he'll answer silly questions.
No. But you've got like you said, you're out and about. So yeah, I think it's great. You have a lot to offer because of your travels with Puccini and everything. That's awesome. Yep.
Dr. Bryant, is there any last minute things you want to say?
I'm just happy to have you both here again, Leslie, and everything. And I really appreciate that you support us. And we, like I said, definitely, we support you and what you're doing. We want to hear about all your travels and share photos, actually share photos with us in reference to your next trip. It'll be great to see you in Barbados or Puccini. And I'm just happy you're here. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I love you guys. Y'all are fabulous. I'm
always telling thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Well, this has been another great Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant and our special guests, Leslie and Puccini. We love catching up with you and hearing all the pet parent adventures that you go on, and we can live vicariously through you. So for now,
I gotta take y'all with us.
Oh, right. We would love that.
Yeah, we need a girls trip. Yay!
Yay! Puccini and the girls. That's what we'll call it.
That's right.
Well, until next time, everyone, have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and we will see you next week on Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant. Bye-bye.
Thanks for all you do.
Oh,
bye.
Oh, thank you.